right now. Well, in the pacing game, the Christchurch Casino New Zealand Cup is numero uno. It's hard to argue, Michael Guerin, that the 2 Mile Dominion, traditionally at the last day of the Cup Carnival, isn't the ultimate in the trotting game.
Best trotting race in Australasia has been for decades. This is a horse who, Greg, we probably wouldn't expect to see on our top 10. Stylish Monarch. You're thinking, hold on, what do I remember him? Trained by Murray Tapper. Now, of course, in the trotting game, it's not all about the big stables dominating. Came out and maybe didn't beat the strongest field ever, but Greg ran a time which, at the time, at 4:2.9, was a national record for the little wonderful expert around those Addington 3-2s and Ricky May. Here's number 10 on our list, Stylish Monarch from South Canterbury, the driver from Mid Canterbury, taking out the Dominion.
Late Stylish Monarch, Springbank Bridges works away, Stylish Monarch, don't tell me Ricky May again. Yep, Ricky May's won the Dominion with Stylish Monarch.
Well, he ended up being a millionaire, I can do's it. He'd had a couple of cracks at this race though, Michael, and come unstuck. This year though, 2012, Mark Purdon in the bike, trying to get his first win in this great race. And this horse was powerful up the straight, as he was right throughout his career.
The thing about the Dominion is you've got to be a great stayer. You can't be a sprinter and win the Dominion. It's like the New Zealand Cup, but even more so because these horses race right at the end of their oxygen window. So he was a fantastic horse, a great stayer, and that was the key to him winning the Dominion.
I Can Do's It's got a bit of work to do. Stig's in front. I Can Do's It goes out after him now. Stig in front. I Can Do's It's getting to him from the fiery Ginger. I Can Do's It. Mark Purdon's going to win his first Dominion handicap, but 17 in a row. George Brecken today. I Can Do's It for you.
Well, he was simply known around the stables as Kippie, named after his owner, Kipros Kotsikas, who'd had such great success at Addington Raceway. Mark Jones trained and drove him to win in 2013, completing a trio of wins for the Joneses. Grandfather Derek, Father Peter, and of course Mark. But he'd had a bit of an indifferent time in between. Yes, he'd won some Group 1 races, but for him to bounce back and win and become the 7th multiple winner of this great race meant a heck of a lot to his trainer and driver.
And had to overcome his own frailties, as you said, those physical frailties. He would trot rough sometimes, a big horse whose body sometimes betrayed him. Not on this day at Addington, and we see the whip flourish to remind us just how much work it took to get him here.
Master Labros, 150 to go, a length and a half Shimon, then came her 50 and Alleyway runs on. Master Labros leads in the Dominion, Alleyway's trotting to second from Shimon, but Master Labros and Mark Jones are going to win it again. Master Labros won it.
The year was 1990. Michael had won 14 in a row as a 2 and 3-year-old, but his last win was in the Rosso Antico Stakes, and he'd had the equivalent number of starts without registering a win. He'd had a couple, but actually lost them by disqualification. Sundog, change of driver. W.F. Fletcher decided to put Peter Jones on, and from the outside of the second row, this remarkable trotter who left such a mark on our gate, Sundog takes out the Dominion.
We speak about great stayers winning the race. Well, this is probably the oxymoron for that. He was a wonderful speed exponent. The son of Arndon, of course, the 154 world champion, New Zealand owned Arndon, leading into the Sundog bloodline, which changed the game over here and continues to do so. Here's the horse who was our champion stallion and is now by far our champion broodmare sire, Sundog in the Dominion.
At the moment, Sundog 150 to go from Game Paul, William D sticking in there. White Horse Pride, G de Jour and Family Pride. Sundog getting down to the wire. Sundog from Game Paul, they go to the post. Sundog to win it.
Well, he was simply known as Monster Moss. He won this race in 1993 off 10 metres. He went back a further 5 for this, Michael, and still beat them up and beat a cracking field.
Great field. Now listen to the names you're about to hear in this commentary. David Moss was big, he was strong. He had 3 different trainers depending on where he was racing around Australasia. But at his best, as good a trotter as I've seen in this part of the world. Coming off 15 metres to win the Dominion, difficult. Coming off 15 metres to beat this bunch, nearly unbelievable.
down. David Moss is chiming in now. Dan Call Me Now comes off the rail. Brendan Abbey getting the run on the inner. David Moss is gunning them down wider on the track. Call Me Now, he's calling on all his reserves, but David Moss is going to him. Call Me Now, David Moss getting the better. David Moss makes it 2 in a row. Wins the DB Draft Dominion handicap from Call Me Now.